2 Chronicles 33:11. If somebody could read that for us.
Wherefore the Lord brought upon them the captains of the host of the kings of Assyria, which took Manasseh among the thorns, and bound him with fetters, and carried him to Babylon.
Okay. So we find Manasseh taken to Babylon, right, into captivity in 677.
What
Okay.
text was that again?
2 Chronicles 33, verse 11. Okay. 2 Chronicles 33:11. We find this event. The time periods which William Miller highlighted. The time periods in which William Miller is known for and was preaching. The first time period is 677. 677. What are the other two time periods that William Miller was preaching?
2300.
Okay, 2300 days, beginning when?
457.
457. Right. What's the other one?
1260.
Okay, so it does begin and end 457 to 1844, but then this one would be the 1290,
1290.
1290. So these time periods. Okay, this chart, and those time periods. Okay. Without going too far into the future, from 1798 to 1844, you know, we might not understand all of these dates and figures, but as you study, you'll see it. From 1798 to 1844, did something happen in 1798 to 1844?
Knowledge was increased.
All right, increase of knowledge. What else?
Knowledge about Daniel in Revelation.
Okay. Prophetic knowledge.
What we've been studying.
Yeah, all of those things that we've been studying, right? It's
So, first and second, third angel's message
yeah,
came to be.
first and second angel's message, and we tie that in with what we've been studying about the parable of the 10 virgins, Matthew 25. We put that in with this history, the sacred history of the 7 thunders. The midnight cry, the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, the preparation of God's people for His second coming, the Advent movement, this time period, right? How many years this year are in this time period?
46.
46 years. 46 years. And William Miller, he has at the bottom of the chart, he's got 45 years. Because he's looking, everything that William Miller was looking at was at 1843. Right? Everything that he saw, it was 1843, 1843, 1843. But it's 1844 in some cases, 1844. It's 46 years. Right? Let's go to John chapter 2.
What was the year? I mean, how did he mess up on that? Is it because he forgot the year 0, or
Yeah.
he forgot to calculate it?
We'll explain it to him.
Say that again.
We'll explain to everybody year 0 from 180, 1 BC.
So there is no year 0. When you get
Also,
from
there is no year
yeah,
0.
so you go straight from 1 to 1, 1 BC to 1 AD.
Also, that's why there's an
Yeah.
extra year.
Right. So that was not understood until after the first discipline. Okay? But let's go to John. Let's go to John chapter 2. John chapter 2. John chapter 2. John chapter 2 and verse 19 and 20, it says, Jesus answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? How many years was the rebuilding of the temple?
46. Same.
46 years. I didn't put this in here, but I'm just going to put it 723. 723 is the other 25-20 time period. 723 goes all the way over to 1798. 677 goes all the way to 1844. Those 46 years in which the increase of knowledge takes place. God restores, rebuilds the temple in 46 years, gathering again his denominated people in the Advent movement of 1798 to 1844. That period, we look at this period, this Millerite time period, the beginning of the Advent movement, as something that we're ashamed of. But it's sacred. It's one of the most beautiful truths that has ever been revealed in the history of mankind. And just to, you know what, I'm going to just read a couple quotations and then tell you exactly why this is important in my mind today, okay? The Lord showed me that he had stretched out his hand the second time to recover the remnant of his people, and that efforts must be redoubled in this gathering time. In the scattering, Israel was smitten and torn, but now in the gathering time, God will heal and bind up his people. In the scattering, efforts made to spread the truth had but little effect, accomplished but little or nothing. But in the gathering, when God has set his hand to gather his people, efforts to spread the truth will have their designed effect. All should be united and zealous in the work. I saw that it was wrong for any to refer to the scattering for examples to govern us now in the gathering. For if God should do no more for us now than he did then, Israel would never be gathered. I have seen that the 1843 chart was directed by the hand of the Lord, and that it should not be altered. Okay, let's pause there. So she's referring to the scattering and the gathering. Clearly, this event, the distinction between the scattering and the gathering, is to be made by God's people. It's to be seen. I have seen that the 1843 chart was directed by the hand of the Lord, and that it should not be altered. So that chart that we saw should not be altered. We'll find one exception to that rule, okay? This is what she says. And that it should not be altered, that the figures were as he wanted them. God is the one who wanted those figures on that chart. Right? That his hand was over and hid a what? A mistake. A mistake. Not mistakes plural. A mistake. Singular. A mistake. In some of the figures, plural. Some of the figures are not correct.